In Silver Chord Studios, the home that Gojira built, why would you go through the trouble of creating your own studio in the first place? You know, were you unhappy with previous results or anything like that?
It's more comfortable to have our own place to work. It's something that we were always used to have, a place, a headquarter. Every band needs a headquarter to create and rehearse and all that. So that's one thing we were missing in New York. And now we have it. There was a lot of we had to invest a lot of time and energy and money into that project. But it's for us. We built this thing around the new album and around our music. So it's the kind of vibe that we wanted and the space we needed to record drums.
Why New York City? What made you stick to this place that you wanted to be here all the time?
I kind of put us in this situation because I moved here just because I always wanted to be in New York City. It's like a childhood dream, you know, or something like that. And I felt drawn to that place for a mysterious reason. I don't know why. We grew up in the countryside, in the forest, and you know, the woods, the fields, the
Right.
ocean.
So it's
the
like the grass is greener type situation. You wanted to see something new.
Yes,
That's awesome.
but you know, personally, I needed something else, you know, to get inspired and the jungle, the city jungle.
With half of the band still back home in France and half you guys out here, did that create any kind of hardships while, you know, as a band, as a unit?
We realized after years of being a band and touring, at some point we would get together to practice for, let's say, 1 week, and then we'll go on tour. That's how it works now. And between tours, because we spend half of the year on the road, we don't necessarily hang out and rehearse every day, so we don't really need to live in the same place anymore. Things are changing in our lives.
We've discussed earlier today, you know, I've heard the record many times, and it sounds incredible.
Thank you.
You know, I think it's dense with sound and pure with emotion. And of course, what was happening with your family life, I think a lot of that has to do with the outcome of the record. And you know, this being such a personal record for you, do you think it was actually the hardest record that you ever had to make?
Actually, no, because the fact we built this room, this studio, is just the goal was what you feel, maybe what you felt. The album is full of emotion because we had our own bubble, and it's true that the two previous albums, The World of Flesh and L'Enfant Sauvage, we did record in a studio, professional studio. We went to Los Angeles, amazing experience too. But we go back to the roots. Building this room was just build our own space. And I think the charm of the album comes directly from this. You know, we work on it. It was very tough actually. Joe built a studio almost alone, you know. And I remember building this room, and it was so tough, so technical. But at the end, the first time we jam in this room, we just felt like, wow, it's our room, it's our home, it's our bubble, and let's do music. So actually, it was not hard to play this music. It was just very comfortable, and of course we had some difficult. It was surrounding by difficulties, but I would say that it was also full of joy and full of. I really enjoyed the composing process in this room. I felt like in my home with my brother, and the two other guys came also sometime in New York, and they came back in France. And where we were together, I just felt like, wow, it's something.
Well, I always go and dig, you know, whatever's inside, and it is hard. Yes, it's hard to come up with words. It's hard to, you know, when you wake up in the morning and you want to have a normal day, you don't necessarily want to tease your demons, you know. But obviously that's what we do. you know. And even every night when we get on stage, we're like, yeah, we have to open the cage and let everything go, and then we feel so much better afterwards. So it's a real therapy for us. But for some reason, yeah, writing lyrics, and especially in these moments, you know, I probably cried a few times. That I don't know. It was so intense, so intense. But like Mario said, it was a very. We were in this comfortable atmosphere, and we feel safe working together. And our other two brothers are joining us, and then we have these sessions where we jam, and we feel like the luckiest people on the planet when we get to do all that. So yeah. Of course, losing our mom is obviously the hardest thing you can ever imagine. But we're lucky to do what we do, and we recycle whatever is happening into pure energy. I mean, that's how we see it.
How about the influence of New York City in general? I mean, all the sights, sounds, flavors, I mean, did that make its way onto the record?
To be honest, being in New York for this experience, I was with my brother every day, so I was speaking French. It's why my English is still shit, you know. So I was speaking French every day, and we were in this room all together. So, but yeah, when you just go outside, you can go in a cool cafe, and you have excellent cappuccino, excellent brunch. And in France, in the southwest of France, I don't have brunch like this, you know. So no, actually, I really enjoy Brooklyn because it's full of creativity, and it's kind of special in the USA. You know, Brooklyn is full of European people from South America, from Asia. So it's just a mix of so many different culture, and it just feel good to live this experience. You know.
I think you mentioned that our train system actually made it onto the record in some way, shape, or form.
Yes, the L train is on the record. It's funny because when I named the studio, I wanted to be a Gojira track because I wanted to keep something that, you know, relevant with the band. I didn't want it to call it the Gojira Studio, but I wanted to keep something. So I picked Silver Chord, this instrumental on the River Flesh. And someone told me, it's funny because your studio is on the L train, and it's the silver color, and it's a link to Manhattan, to the city.
Right.
So the Silver Chord also can be seen as the L train.
You know, each time an artist goes in to make a record, usually they walk away learning a little something about the recording, the writing, or even themselves during the process. What has Magma taught you guys?
Actually, a lot of things. You know. Because we were thinking about the composing process all the time. Even we start the composition of the album on the road, and I think we relearn how to compose a song. So my perception of the music changed a lot because I wanted something different. We wanted something different from the previous album, and we worked very hard together on the structure of the songs and keep the core. What is the most important in a song? I don't know. Something changed also in the way we compose.
It's funny because these songs, we worked really hard on them. We did several versions, demos, and changed the lyrics and changed the intro and the outro and the middle part, and then there's just one riff left in the end, one original riff, and then everything around changed, and then the original riff disappears, and the songs, like, they were living and breathing and changing and evolving for all these years. It's crazy, like 2.5 years. At some point we had a list of songs, maybe 10 or 12, and only 2 of them are on the record now because they all went away and changed, and so we never pushed that hard a record. And something happened too. It's the singing is something that I want to do since a long time, and it was always there somehow, in on the backing vocals or a little section where I sing. On this album, I started to let my voice express a little more some emotions, and I'm singing more. I'm exploring more the vocal possibilities and stuff. So that's also something.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the most varied Gojira album I think I've ever heard, from you guys.
Cool.
It incorporates everything you've done. and maybe everywhere you'll go. You know, like it's just
Awesome.
all over the place. But congratulations, Magma.
Thank you.
It's a terrific record. When it does come out, 2016, pick it up, Roadrunner Records.